Now, some people have spotted that in the thumbnail. If you click the thumbnail because you're listening to the podcast, but you kind of you want to looky. Well, there is a typo in the thumbnail. It says loose and not lose. That's because I'm using the Starbucks technique. Piper, what's the Starbucks technique? The Starbucks technique is when you write something not correctly. Like my name, Piper, if I go to Starbucks, it can be a whole bunch of different names. I mean, I had Pipa, so P-I-P-P-A. I had Pepper, like pepper. Yeah, Pipa the Pig. What's it? Like, look, see? That's Pipa the Pig right there. Mm-hmm. So kind of like Pipa the Pig. I had, I had Pepper, P-E-P-E-R. Yeah, Pepper. That's another name they gave me. I had like a Piper, but with like Pepper. There's just like some P's there, but no vowel for some reason. And then, but Pipa or Pipa is something that people seem to hear when I say Piper. I guess Piper. I need to like accentuate the R, right? Piper, 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 Piper. Like just like that. Super easy. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, I want more people to come to the podcast. And I'm using some special techniques and tactics to make it happen. So make sure that you actually share this video, super easy. There is a share arrow right down there. You click that and then, it's gonna open a pop-up which will allow you to share this video on your Facebook, on X, on Reddit, and everywhere else. You can even copy-paste the URL and put it on your very own social media or forums that you hang out on. So make sure that you do that so that we can bring more people here to have fun with us. Oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So that being said, all of these tactics that I'm using, well, they're meant for you to talk about them, just like David Seaton, who is like the grammar police, yeah. Super cool. Okay. Thank you for tuning in. I am Piper, and you are listening to While You Wait, the podcast that entertains you, yes, with car information, mostly, certainly on electric vehicles, but also on anything really, because it's about entertainment. And then, yes, you get some real information in there, but you need to find it. That's why you need to stay for the whole entire podcast, which lasts 1 hour, and it's from Monday to Friday. Oh yeah, at 12 p.m. Vancouver time. Woohoo! I know. Great for some people's lunch breaks if you are based on the West Coast. If you're not, well, maybe it's your after work break. It doesn't matter. As long as you're waiting for something to happen, we are here to make sure that your ears, they are not lonely. In the live comment section, we already have some people. Snoopy's here. And then Snoopy says that the governor of Virginia is making announcements soon on electric cars. Well, that should be quite interesting, yes. Yeah, keep us up to date with that. It's just in a couple of minutes. So, well, you see some people, just like put it back in the comment section when you hear what they're going to talk about. They're going to put new laws, change the laws. Kill some of the laws. It's all possible. It's all very possible. It's going to be quite interesting. Douglas Doubtless says Pepper. Yeah, some people call me Pepper. Also, the autocorrect seems to love paper instead of Piper. So sometimes in the live comment section, I get a lot of, hey, Paper, how are you today? Paper. But no, my name is Piper, P-I-P-E-R. Super easy to actually write. We're gonna talk about cars are stealing your jobs. We've started with a little poll. Are you scared about your job being stolen? I mean, you might not think it will be stolen directly, but we'll dive into some of the jobs that will definitely disappear if electric cars and just cars, like technologies, go further than what they already are right here, right now, at the time of this podcast. Okay. And now other things, well, just a PA update. So this is something crazy, but since you're here and people seem to like drama, let's dramatize my life. So this is a little introduction. Don't worry, we'll get to the real bone marrow of this podcast. So what happened? What happened this morning? This morning I was supposed to have somebody come in. Yeah, a new possible PA. new possible PA. And then at 6:30, of course I was awake at 6:30 a.m. Why? Because I wake up usually 5:30 a.m. 5:30 a.m. Yeah, my bed, it vibrates. And that wakes me up. And then, well, I brush my teeth, go do some exercise, then go take my shower, then have a coffee, then eat my breakfast. And then, well, usually by that time that I work a little bit, well, the employee arrives. Like, that's kind of like the way I do. So that being said, I had set up a day trial for one of the PAs I had in mind, like doing interviews and all that. And then at 6:30 a.m., she just texted me, "Oh, finally, you know what? I'm not gonna take the job. I don't think it's a good idea." Plus, she definitely used ChatGPT because it was ChatGPT. If it's not ChatGPT, it's a ChatGPT API. I mean, it's ChatGPT. I mean, what's wrong? What's wrong with people nowadays? So on that one part, you have all the people that are, oh, it's so hard to find a job. And then you have all of me trying to hire this one personal assistant. And some of them often, you do the first interview and then it's all good. So I tell them, okay, you'll come over for a day. It's like a day, it's a trial, it's a shadowing day. You just come over and you spend the day with me. And then, well, you're going to really know what the position or the job entitles. Because it's really hard to describe, when you're a YouTuber, you have many projects everywhere. It's not like going and working at Starbucks, right? So that being said, I was already all excited. And then this long text made with ChatGPT was like, what? And then you say no, at 6:30 a.m. when you were supposed to come in at 8. What's this? Why? Why do people do that? I have to admit that back in my days when I was young and stupid, well, I did do that sometimes. Not that many times, okay? Not that many times. But, you freak out, you're scared. You decide to not go to the job interview or you decide to not go to, the first day of work because you change your mind. But still, okay, at least she kind of, wrote to me. But didn't you know yesterday evening? Well, you just woke up at 6:30, probably, because it's 6:30 a.m. So, of course, she woke up for that. I mean, why else would she wake up if she had nothing else to do today? So you wake up for that, and then you realize, no, I don't want this.
I don't want to wash my hair.
Yeah, I don't want to wash my hair. I just want to stay in bed today, right? I feel like it should be a vacation day.
I don't need a job anymore.
I don't need a job anymore. I changed my mind. Just like when you're in the grocery store and you see,
I prefer to work at the restaurant.
Yeah, I prefer to work at a restaurant. Instead of being with YouTubers, artists, too crazy. So just whatever. I'm not gonna do this. But this happens a lot, a lot. Even with the LinkedIn, Indeed. I mean, you send things. You do you do a video interview. Then you do another interview. Then you finally have to meet them at one point, right? Because they're supposed to work with you. So what are you gonna do? Stay online forever? I mean, it's just like dating website. Finding a job is the same thing. Plus, I understand that some some locations are kind of physical, right? So it's if you go and you upload or put your resume for Starbucks, you kind of know what you're gonna do, right? You already have this idea that, oh, it's Starbucks, so I know what I'm in for. I'm gonna do lattes all day. This is clean the toilet, right? And then sweep a little bit, and it's gonna be crazy. There's gonna be a whole bunch of people. I mean, it's Starbucks. But that's why I offered the trial period. That's why I'm okay, come over. I mean, you'll just stay with me. We'll do what I usually do, and then bam. What's so scary about being an artist? I have no idea, but some people seem to not grasp it. So I'm still looking for a PA. If you know a girl in Vancouver who wants to be a personal assistant, well, make sure you put the word out. I'm not as mean as the girl in Devil Wears Prada, just so you know. Not that kind of a super crazy girly boss. But it's still a PA job. Yeah, you need to bring coffee, You need to do a bit of dishes, of course. It makes sense. Just like the drummer of the band. The Devil Wears Prada thought so. Yeah, job dating. Well, it's a bit like that, right? Trying to find a job is a bit like dating. And some people get really, really sad when they don't get the job. But at the same time, I mean... You want somebody who wants the job, because it's not just a job. Well, not for me. I mean, it's such a small environment and it's so close to what I do every single day, like my art and all my projects and things like that. So you just don't want somebody who's a 9 to 5 and that's going to leave really fast and They don't care. You want somebody who cares. It's more like a drummer. Like I said, it's more like somebody who's kind of part of the band. A roadie might be a bit different. I don't know. I don't know much about bands. But, I mean, the drummer's kind of like there, you know. You see his face.
Drummer, poor Lars.
Poor drummers. I mean, it's that thing, right? In the music industry, everybody has a thing for drummers for some reason. So I'm looking for a drummer for my team. But again, it's not a drummer. It's a personal assistant that would assist me in all of my daily things. This means households, it means business, it means online, offline, everything like that. And I don't have kids nor plans, so it's not that bad of a job, people. Now, Chris Pankage says EVs are basically over here. The treasurer of the USA is in big trouble. They changed the plan that was lawed without permission. They're all on trial now. Ooh, interesting. Chris Pankage wakes up at 4:30 without an alarm every single day. Yeah, some people are like that. I intimately know somebody who's like that too. Chris Pankage also says people are no longer driven. Most want handouts or are waiting for a handout. Hard work is a thing of the past. Well, I don't. Yeah, I mean, it's
Hard work.
it's just
Loving your work.
just loving your work. Yeah. We're not talking like, you know, a physical or like hardship or doing something on the spam of a lot of time, but just, you know, waking up, going to work and being like, I'm excited to go to work because I want a PA who goes everywhere and says, you know what, I work for Piper. And she's like super excited. So, I work for Piper. Yeah, you don't know Piper? Google her right now. Like this is the type of PA I want, and this is the type of boss I want to be too, you know, talking about my PA all the time. I mean, it's supposed to be collaboration, right? You're supposed to be with people in a business, in I don't know, like Apple. Let's just take Apple or Tesla. Let's take Tesla since we're in electric cars. You work for Tesla. I mean, you want to be happy to go to work, and then every time people ask you about cars, what are you gonna say? Oh, I have a Tesla. I work for Tesla. Tesla's the best car company ever. I mean, this is the type of people you want in your company. It just makes so much sense. Now, I'm not saying everybody's like that, so I don't like to generalize because it's crazy, but I do think like the workplace has changed, and that's why we're gonna talk about cars are stealing your job, because I'm trying to find a PA and I can't find one for now. Still working on it. So the thing is, it has definitely changed with the avenue of, ChatGPT, who writes everything for everybody. I mean, I've had some people in interviews that just started reading. Like you say, hi, how are you? Hi, my name is Jeannie, and well, I would be really great for this job because I actually love to do, I don't know, whatever. And then they just read for like 2 minutes. And you're like, wow. You can stop reading now?
Could have been an email.
This could have been an email. Yeah, exactly. This could have been an email. It's awful. Like, don't use ChatGPT. Don't read the thing. Anyway, if you use ChatGPT, you can use it to prompt questions to get prepared for your interview. But I want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to ChatGPT. I can talk to ChatGPT all day long. I just want to talk to you as a person. What do you do? What do you love? What do you don't love? I mean, I've interviewed a few girls, like 2 girls. They were like the same girl, but they were not. And it was kind of interesting because, of course, I told them that I was on social media and I was like a public figure and all that. And they were like telling me that they couldn't make any money in Canada. And I was like, how am I gonna pay you then? Like, this makes no sense. What are you talking about? Like, these like preconceived ideas of the fact and the jobs and everything like that. It's a bit weird. And yes, like Salvage 22S7 says about, the internet, let's call it like that. Well, I guess a lot of people kind of think that they can make money off of the internet now, so be more entrepreneurs, independent and all that, with many types of websites, not just like all legal, of course, but the ones that might be a little bit less moral, depending on your morality. Which means that I guess they try to be more independent, have Etsy shops, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram Live, get the subscription, get paid, and then they can't do it, so they decide to find a job. But it's not because they want a job, it's because they need a job, because they haven't figured the rest out. I'm just looking for people out there who really want like an actual job, a real job, to have like go to work in the morning, then come back home, like make their dinner and be happy that they accomplished something today and they're participating into like projects and arts and things for other artistic people. In that sense, I mean, if you're there, call me. Send me an email, a sign. I don't know anything like that. We have here Chris Pankert who says, I had 8 interviews with SpaceX in Hawthorne and I still didn't get it. Yeah, there's like, in my time when I was... I was talking to other people, like grown-up people that have kids and stuff like that. They were going through job interviews, and it was like consecutive interviews. So you would go through like 3, 4, 5. Again, the bigger the company, the more they have they have an HR floor, right? So they can.
It also depends on the position.
Yeah, it depends on the position.
Because if you represent the company, you want to make sure this person.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you're a salesperson or somebody who's gonna like directly represent the company, then yeah, you want to make sure that person likes the product and can convey the message you want to convey. And that's a PA is a bit like that. Yeah, it depends on the position. So a PA, a personal assistant, is a bit like a secretary. Okay, same but different because it's not necessarily office based. That would be like an executive assistant or whatever. So you want somebody that represents you, and that means online, offline, when you go out. So you want somebody that has the same standing as you or the same demeanor as you. You want somebody who's you're gonna be proud that represents you, or else you don't want to hire them. And I'm not talking like LGBTQ plus and things like that. I'm really just talking about you want that person to love what they're doing and to love your company or your brand, your identity, all of that, which just makes a lot of sense. So what else we got here? I wish I was a woman. Well, thank you very much. This is, yeah, not hiring men at this time. Afternoon, Piper and everyone. Hey, Hack of all trades. Thank you for tuning in. Enyo San says AI and EVs will change everybody's jobs and lives. There is like a theory online that says that governments would have to give money to people as AI will take over most of the jobs that might work. I've heard about that one.
Minimum.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get it.
Yeah, it's a how's it called? It's not the minimum salary, minimum wage. No, it's a worldwide income, something like that. I'm close. It's income, something income. So the thing is, I think Elon Musk talk about this, and I've heard it too, Enyo-san, on the internet, so I read it possibly. Whereas, yeah, if AI takes the jobs of everybody, then we'll need kind of something to supplement. More Star Trek, everybody can do what they love because you don't need money anymore. Money is already supplied. There's no need for that. Chris Pankage says, if lives are in your hands, it tends to be a lot of interviewing. I mean, I understand. That would make a lot of sense. But I mean, a bus driver also has a lot of lives in their hands and still needs like good interview.
I think you should do that.
What should I do?
Multiple interviews.
Multiple interviews, right?
Because it's your life.
Yeah, because it is my life. They could poison me. I mean, they're my PA. So let's think about this. It wasn't an idea or a suggestion. I'm just saying. I wish they would give me a test on interviews so I can show I know something interesting of letting BS and fake resumes with the job. Well, okay, so this is true. There is a lot of like fake. There's a lot of things like that.
Yeah, fake.
Is a lot of fake. A lot of fake CVs, fake resumes.
What's our CV that we read? There's like
most are fake, and then people also kind of try to form their resume so it looks like that job that they want. So they omit to give all their previous experience.
They don't say that they're working at a diner.
Yeah, they don't say that they're working at a diner because they want.
Find a good job.
Yeah, because they didn't find a good job, so they're kind of omitting this where your resume I think should be all of your experiences, not just tailored to that job, because it says something about you to be like, okay, what have you done, when have you done it, and why did you change? These are the good questions. These are the questions that like employers should ask. Yeah, why you don't work in your field? Like, what happened? You were discouraged? Why are you out of school and you work as a server when you were supposed to be a photographer? This makes no sense. So you decided to ditch it? Like, yeah, be honest. Those are real questions that should be asked by employers and that like employees should want to answer. And then if you finally get that opportunity of working as a photographer, social media creator or whatever, because you're a waitress, but you don't take it, like that's probably why you're still a waitress. I mean, it just makes so much sense, right?
Exactly.
It's about opportunities and it's about risk taking. That's what jobs are. And especially if you want to get somewhere faster, you're gonna need to either do that thing with your mouth, or well, maybe just take more risks. Depends also if you're non-gender, but we all know what happens. Guaranteed social income. I guess that's one of the word for it. Guaranteed social income, meaning that everybody would have this kind of fixed amount of money. And then, well, you could really think about what you want to do and not what you have to do. I mean, most people here in British Columbia, Vancouver, have 2 jobs just to pay like rent, just to get by. It's a thing. And a lot of the women I interview actually do have 2 jobs and they're looking for full-time one job. And that's why they apply, because they want this one job that's going to do it all for them in that way. But again, it's not just about the money. It's about, do you want to do that? Because in the end of the day, money gives you a bit of security, but it doesn't make you happy if you're doing a job that you hate. Like, it will not give you that. I'm certain of it. Mm-hmm. Snoopy is still waiting for governor to say something. Okay, well, no worries, Snoopy. Thank you. Keep us up to date. And then Chris Pankage says employers use computer algorithms to find candidates now. They don't read resumes anymore. They weed them out with a computer. I know. So I've used LinkedIn. I've used Indeed. And you can do these kind of prerequisited questions. Yes?
This is for big corporations.
This is for big corporations.
Let's talk about small corporations.
Yeah.
Let's not go big corporations.
Exactly.
We don't do that.
No.
So, and I don't think, there's a lot of little work.
Yeah, there's more PMEs, as we say in French. There's more small businesses that are looking for between 1 and 10 employees than there are necessarily big corps looking for 100. Okay, I understand. There's like these big corps hire more people. But in the end, all the smaller businesses that are looking for that one person, we do use like Craigslist, Indeed, LinkedIn. We used all of these or anything else on the internet to find the great candidate for the job. But these job sites, they do use AI and they use other things like that kind of weeds out by itself. But again, it's not necessarily the right weeding out. And that's what you need to be careful about. I mean, the resume of somebody does say a lot about them, but like we said, a lot of people kind of lie. So it's not that. It's really about putting your job description out there for people to read it. I mean, some people applied to the job and they were like not even to my job post, and there's just like there's a click, like easy application. So they just click and apply to everything massively. It's a bit like if you're on Tinder and you just swipe right like all the time until a girl like talks to you. It's the same thing. So because it's so automated, people don't even read. They just kind of go through, and then you're there. I even ask some questions before I actually do the interview, because the interview, of course, is more time consuming and you need to do more research before you do the interview. So I tend to ask like a few questions via message before I lean on to the interview, just to make sure they didn't click on me as fast as possible. But then they use ChatGPT, and then you get to the interview and you're like, I've asked you if you read that thing like twice already, and then you're here and you have no idea. Like, what the if? But just read that thing. Just read the job description. Like, just read the job description. It's not really more complicated than that. But again, people who really want jobs for many reasons will do that. It's just that might be 1 out of 10 right now. And a lot of people, for some reason, because they have 2 jobs and all that, they have jobs. So they're looking for a job to ditch their other jobs. So you're like kind of like trying to be the unicorn of jobs, like the dream job, but they're already secure and safe. So to ask somebody to leave or to quit their job for you when they have no idea what the job is, because they haven't like been there, done that. It's not like going working at Starbucks, like we said. That's another thing, like a whole other thing. Like Katrina, I wanted to hire, well, not wanted to hire Katrina, but had a thing with this girl called Katrina that you might have seen on my channels and all that. And, well, in the end, she already had a job. So I was like, well, you know what? This is too stressful for me. I mean, you're gonna quit your job for something that you don't yet know. So that might be why. That might be why some of them are still like comfortably numb, you know? Just like Pink Floyd's song. Oh yeah, let's go deep.
We're talking about job.
We are talking about job. Now, okay, Carl says he messed up the survey. Well, no problem, Carl. We're getting used to it. I think it's not a really official survey. Chris Pankage says, so they look for the keywords. Most use ChatGPT to kick them the algorithm. It's true that they look for keywords. So if you put like organizational skills, then they give you organizational. What does that even mean? Like this is not organizational, whatever. I just want somebody who wants to be a PA. Like some people really want to be a PA.
Be able to choose your keyword and don't send me people that wanted, that keyword.
Yeah, you should be able to choose keywords, and you are, but not. It's a weird thing. You are able to choose your keywords, but they are like kind of pre-targeted, and then they read the resumes and they kind of match you with these resumes already. And then you can look for things, but also, like I said, people lie. So if you say, I want somebody right now that has no job, they don't tell you that they have a job right now. And then you interview them and they're like, I'm working full time. I have 2 jobs. You're like, why did you even apply if you already have 2 jobs? I want somebody that's available now, that wants to work now. These people, usually that don't have other jobs, they're the ones that want to work and that are willing to work right away. They're ready. They really need it and they really want it, compared to the people that are actually already working. Those ones are kind of just, it's like you already have a girlfriend, but you're still on the dating websites to see if you could find somebody better. I mean, that's how bad that is. It's really bad, right?
It's worse than Tinder.
It's worse than Tinder. Now that is a bad situation for 2 jobs. Yeah, it's everybody right now here.
Everybody needs 2 jobs.
Everybody here in Vancouver needs 2 jobs to pay rent, unless you're like me and you're okay. But most people need 2 jobs. And minimum salary just went up, like minimum wage, which is good. But at the same time, small businesses, it's too much for them. So they're having issues with that. I mean, it's a crazy world we live in. Hey, Max Power. Universal basic income. That's the word I was looking for. Universal basic income. That's the one. Okay, so we have Snoopy's who says... so the governor of Virginia will be announcing consumers have the choice of electric vehicle they want to purchase, whether it be gas or electric. Okay, interesting. And then Chris Pankage says the Virginia government isn't participating in the Green New Deal. Sounds like a great governor. Okay. Politicism. Okay, RP says ChatGPT is a plagiarism machine. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it takes everything that everybody's got and it mixes it together and it revomits it to you, which is great for prompting ideas or for thinking of things that you don't necessarily think of. So I really love using ChatGPT to do like the description of my YouTube videos and things that are SEO and things like that, but also just to actually get something different, I'm with my team, things are happening, and then you're like, we're kind of stuck on this idea. Maybe just prompt ChatGPT and see if it could think a little bit outside the box for us. That I love, and it works very, very well. Tech Trader, hey, what's up? I run a digital marketing agency. I can help you go viral. Well, thank you very much. I did that already.
What's the secret?
Yeah, tell me the secret. We'll use it. This channel is not monetized, so we don't have money to pay for for a marketing agency right now. But, work your magic and we'll see later. Originally from Cleveland. I guess that's from Chris Pankage. And here. Bam. Snoopy says, I used to have people who have lied on applications and resumed they were fired soon after. Yeah, that happened to me too, and they were fired soon after as well. Resume cliche. Creative, driven, loyal, passionate, motivated, organized, innovative, professional. Yeah, I know. It sucks. It's just like it's so stale, right? You just get all these resumes, and you're like, they're all the same. Can somebody just write something? Like something, I don't know. And even now I'm rewriting this job description to really target people who don't use ChatGPT or like read things. And I think that's gonna help. I might get less applications, but at least I'll get the good ones, you know? Mm-hmm. Okay, cars are stealing your jobs. Definitely not my PA job. This is not happening. But they might steal yours. What are you talking about, Piper? What are you talking about? Okay, do you guys remember, if you were born, but I know most of you were, the beginning of automations? And okay, we're not talking like, automations back in the 1800s. I know automations were there before. But we're talking about like this time where you saw things were becoming machines and not humans anymore. The best example of that would be banks and ATMs. You would go to a teller before. We're talking like 1980s, 1990s. And then, well, soon enough, these tellers became just ATM machines, or these like machines. And that is the new normal now. We have banks that have physical offices, and you can go there if you have a problem. And yes, to open some bank accounts, you need to go there. But now we also have banks that are only online, like Tangerine and other, not Tangerine Dream, the bank, Tangerine. And other banks that, okay, are very different. They cost you less because they don't have physical locations. So you also can't manage as much things on there, but it's still usable, user-friendly, let's call it like that. So that means that jobs have been lost in the past due to technological advancements, automations, and just life. Plus, another really cool thing that I've seen recently and that has been like popping up even more are like the self-checkout, right? So if you go to a grocery store, there's gonna be self-checkout. Even at Costco, I saw them at Costco, self-checkout. So you take your stuff, you grab it, bam, bam, wee, 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 wee. You do like you were a kid and you wanted to be like a cashier because it goes ding, ding. Every time you scan the thing, super exciting. But the thing is, well, that makes it so that some cashiers lost their job. Then we could argue, well, Piper, nobody wants these jobs. Yeah, I know. That's why we're automating them, or like making machines instead of these people, because we have a lack of jobs. Everybody's on the internet for some reason doing something else. Like this podcast. While you wait for your electric vehicle to charge, make sure that you tune in 12 p.m. every weekday. Oh yeah, on the channel 2 Girls, 1 Electric Car. Thanks for being here. So these job losses, yeah, there are job losses, but it just means that people take other jobs, right? People don't disappear. I mean, you just need to reinvent yourself, do something different. So that is what we're talking about. But we're talking about cars and job losses. We're not talking about tellers. We're not talking about anything else. We're talking about everything that is related to vehicles. Yes, all vehicles, EV, non-EV, technology in cars that will make it so that you will lose your job. Or the people in this industry will lose their job. What are they gonna do after? I don't know. I have no idea. But it's gonna happen. We know it's gonna happen. It's already happening a little bit. So let's dive right into this. What will be the first one you think that will make people lose their job? Yeah. And it's supposed to happen in August. Yeah. The 8th of August is supposed to happen. Do you have any idea? Anybody? Robotaxi. Ta-tan. What?
Someone just said it.
What? How come? I don't see anything. Okay, wait, my live comments are not loading. I need to refresh. Okay, what's happening? The taxi drivers will disappear. Okay, I see the comments. Oh wow, there's a lot now. Okay, perfect. Yeah, taxi drivers. So let's talk about Robotaxi. Let's talk about Elon Musk and Tesla and Robotaxi, which is gonna come very, very soon in August. Plus, well, we don't even need to go that far. If you are a taxi driver or a Uber driver, let's just say like some of these drivers, but we're talking for people, okay? You're carrying people. We'll talk about the other stuff later. Well, and you buy a Tesla that has full self-drive, so meaning FSD. I mean, you're in the car, but you're literally picking up people, doing things like that when your vehicle is already driving itself most of the time. I mean, you still need to be in the car, and in Vancouver, unfortunately, it is illegal to do that, to use the FSD as of right now. It might be legal later, but you're not supposed to do that. Though in other provinces or countries where it is legal, if you're a taxi driver, your job just became a lot easier. I mean, you can use full self-drive, meaning you have the assistance of the car. I mean, the car drives itself. You just need to put your hand on the steering wheel and look at stuff around you. You don't read, you don't like look at your phone and all that, but still, that helps a lot. Then if you have an EV, you just go supercharge it or you go connect it, and every time it's fully charged, then you go back again, you go out again. And these cars are really cheap in maintenance, they're really cheap in aftercare and all of that, meaning that you're probably making a lot of money, maybe more than some of these people who have non-electric vehicles. So taxi drivers, as soon as we have a car that is fully self-drivable, it's like fully autonomous, like the Waymo that is happening in Arizona, I mean, there's no need for a taxi driver. There's no need to have somebody in the actual cab with you. You're just going to take a cab. You're just going to like go in a car, and this car will drive you where you inputted the destination in that way. So in the live comment section, we got Robotaxi like in Total Recall. And then Chris Pankage says, there's no way the Robotaxi is going to work here in the US. They don't even have real unsupervised full self-driving. So there's no way the US Department of Transportation will let it on the road for a long time. Well, that might just be, a matter of time, because the Waymo is on the road right now and it's taking people in, and that's in Arizona. So maybe it just depends on, the testing, the safety, and just people's public opinion of the thing for people to be like, okay, we wanna take that risk. We wanna try that. Maybe robot cars have a robot-driven driving them, and you can be in the back seat. Well, that was the first thing, right? When we were thinking about self-driving cars, we could have a robot drive the car. But now with software and hardware, there's really no need for a robot to be there. The car is already a robot. So the robot is the car is the robot. You don't need a robot to be there. This is useless. All you have to do is just put better technology in the vehicle so it fully drives. And Mercedes has a full self-drive that you don't need to touch the steering wheel. So it already exists. Like, this is just a matter of time since we kind of make it popular and like bring it to I don't know, like jobs like taxi drivers and things like that. When you get a bill for a broken timing belt, do you say, I'm supporting jobs? I guess you should. Say that.
If you get an electric car, you won't add that bill.
No, it's true. If you have an electric car, there's no timing belt. So no problem, no bill. Chris Pankage, doesn't Waymo have remote drivers like the cruise scam? I have no idea. I thought Waymo didn't have remote drivers. Remote drivers are more like on call than full-time drivers. Well,
It's supposed to be on
but what were we even talking about? Like, it can freaking drive itself. Why do we need nobody? You need nobody. It drives itself. It's automated. You don't need on call. You don't need nothing. You don't need a person there. You get in the thing and bam.
But if it's somewhere else, it's on
the car is on call, not the driver, because there's no driver. You just hello, I want a car, and then bam, the car arrives and opens the door for you and you get in. So this is great, right? EV technician sounds better, the better mechanic. Well, okay, so jobs will change, and that is one of them, the Robotaxi.
Just like the photomaton?
Yeah,
there's a technician, go there, fix it, and
Exactly. Same thing.
Park next to it, fix it.
Well, that's exactly what happened with some of the vehicles, like some of these jobs. So if you don't have taxi drivers anymore, well, you might...
Tesla do it?
Yeah, Tesla does it. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, just like a photomaton.
just like a automaton. So what happens is that, well, people come to your car now. Yeah, that's the thing. But let's get into mechanics because you guys already want to go there. Goldmaker89 says, are you still a mechanic if you work on EVs, or do you become an EV technician? That's a good question. That's a good question. We need to ask people. We definitely need to ask people.
What is your title in your business?
Yeah, what's your title on your business card? So mechanics. Well, it's true that if we are going towards cars that have less moving parts, like electric vehicles, well, we're gonna need less mechanics. When I say mechanic, there's still a lot of mechanics. You can be mechanical engineer, you can be like a whole bunch of different types of mechanics. But these cars, even like the gasoline cars, now have like software that diagnoses them on the spot. Like they have applications, they just put a USB key in there or plug the car and they know what's wrong with the car. So you don't go to the garage and be like, what's wrong with my car? You already know what's wrong with your car. The garage people just plug it in and they know. So this is gonna be a bit of a switch to mechanics will disappear. Not disappear completely, but if there are less moving parts and if there are no timing belts and no things like that, well, you'll need to do your tires, you'll need to do your brakes, and you'll need to do some work on the battery sometimes and things like that, but that's still a lot less work than a full-on gas vehicle with like the transmission, with, I mean, all of these like moving parts, the exhaust, just everything related to the motor. I mean, the pistons, the fuel injections line, like all of these things are not there. So it might be a good thing to consider that, yes, some of the mechanics out there will lose their jobs. They'll need to find other jobs. Either they'll go in tech or, well, they'll just find something more handsy that is not related to electric vehicles, because I don't think you necessarily want to move to an EV. It's a very, very different job, right? Unless you're like Mr. Tire and you just do tires, then same but different.
Mr. Lube.
Yeah, Mr. Lube.
It's gonna lose their job.
Yeah, Mr. Lube. There's no lube in an EV. There's no lube.
Little lube.
Well, there's a little lube, but like it's still, but there's no oil change. There's no oil change. There's none. So that's another thing. If you're a mechanic, there's a chance you will definitely lose your job. Yeah. So mechanics out there, tell us what you think. Mechanics can still do suspensions, brake, and maybe steering system. Well, it's just different. It's just very different because there are less moving parts. So anything tires, brakes related, that's good. And then there's another thing with EVs and brakes. They have like a regenerative braking, which is a completely different system. It's not just brakes. It's like a whole thing that gives energy back to the battery. So different, very different. Okay. Now, also, what else do I have on here? Oh, the police. The police. Well, we're gonna talk about the police because, okay, the police also is gonna be affected by this. Maybe not, the detectives and people like that. But if cars are all self-driving or mostly self-driving, and well, they have software in them that we can cap or move or make whatever we want. That means like traffic officers or people like the police that go and that makes you like turn right, left, or things like that, might not need to be there anymore. If cars self-drive and they know what's happening when it's happening, there's a big chance of less accidents, for one. You can definitely text and drive because you're not driving, so they don't need to like look for people texting and driving, so there's just less police officers on the road. Then they don't need to look for alcohol or like any type of drugs, because while you're not driving. So that's a lot of things that electric vehicles / any type of super intelligent software, AI, autonomous driving is maybe gonna make some polices will lose their jobs. If you're like a traffic police or something like that, we might not need you, even on the highways. If we put electric vehicles with real caps for speed, then why would we need police there? You can have a police that is gonna be, at the police station, and when they hear somebody speeding, then they go. But most people won't be speeding unless you kind of unlock the car, like you hijack it. That's completely different. Go to your computer and hook up with the police car location. Well, Yeah, they're just like, just go, you use Waze and you know where the police is. But in this world where we would have like all these technologies, police would be doing policing, but not street policing. It wouldn't be necessary to police the cars as much as what they're doing right now. So we talk about cars, but what about like these big trucks? What about truck drivers? Yeah, I know we're going fast on this because there's a lot of jobs that could be lost to like EVs and to just better technology. So cars could steal your job, literally. I'm Piper, and you're listening to While You Wait. Yes, the podcast that entertains you and brings you crazy philosophical information. From Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. on the channel Two Girls, One Electric Car. Because while you wait for your week to be over, party! Well, you can always listen to us. Or before you go to bed, doesn't really matter. The podcast playlist is on our YouTube channel, and it's called While You Wait. Super easy, same name. That way you remember. So if you're a truck driver or you know truck drivers, well, trucks, like big trucks and semis, they're gonna be driving themselves too, right? Meaning that maybe like all of these trucks and semis, they're gonna be more like trains. They're just gonna be on the road going from point A to point B to deliver things.
And faster because they don't need to sleep.
Exactly, and faster because they don't need to sleep. They only need to recharge. So that's it. So they're just gonna be, even if they refuel, even if it's autonomous but with diesel, because these big trucks have been shown to be a bit harder on batteries and things like that, still they're gonna go refuel. Somebody's gonna be there to refuel them, possibly, but then you don't have people who truck drive. It's not necessary. So the truck can go, from Canada to the United States to Mexico and then come back and just deliver things all the way through. And that's another point we're gonna talk about. So faster Amazon Prime too, meaning, let me just, it's on here somewhere, Amazon. There it is, Amazon package and deliveries. So Amazon Prime and all these other delivery services, if their trucks are self-driven, autonomous, well, they don't need to take breaks except for recharge, refuel. That's it. Even like the person, truck drivers, they have caps, so you need to go to bed at one point, and not all of them switch. I mean, some of them have their own truck, so they drive and then they go to bed and then they start over again. And like there's some special systems now on these trucks that make it so that you cannot drive past that because it's too dangerous. Because if a truck driver falls asleep, I mean, they're bigger than everything else on the road, so it's even more dangerous than if a little car falls asleep, for many reasons. That being said, I mean, you would have your packages way faster because the car would not sleep, like the truck would not sleep. It wouldn't need sleep. It's more like a train again. It would just be point A to point B as fast as possible. And so Amazon could be delivered faster, and that could also mean that all these Amazon drivers would lose their job in that way. You could have these big shipments being shipped completely autonomously, which is kind of like weird, right? We need Hyperloop for fast, safe transport. Well, definitely Hyperloop is under construction in some places, but that is more like a train, right? So it's point A, point B, like really direct line. And that's another issue with some of these things, is that by having like really autonomous driving, it helps in the cities too, because cities tend to be a bit more complicated or complex to navigate. It's very dense. You need to park somewhere. Sometimes it's underground, sometimes it's not underground. Even delivery trucks, they need to know where they can park to make their delivery, like to unload. It can take a long time to unload a whole truck if it's really big in that sense. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how fast this goes, and if people are gonna change jobs.
Meter maid.
Yeah, that's in my questions too. Yeah, meter maids are probably gonna not have a job anymore. Yeah, all these meter maids. Imagine that. So everybody that deals with parking, meter maid, and all that. Well, if we have autonomous cars, they can just change spots all the time. So we'll need, like, cities will need to tax differently, because there's no way we're gonna need meter maids anymore. It's not necessary. Even valet parking. You have a self-driving car. Why would you need a valet? You don't need a valet. You don't need to give $5 tip anymore. Or I guess it's 20 now.
Now it's at least 20.
Yeah, probably at least 20 now. 20 to leave a tip for the valet. So you need... So, yeah, Chick-fil-A. I've never been to Chick-fil-A. I've done Chick-fil-A at home. It's amazing. It's true. Chick-fil-A is like super religious, right? Super Catholic, so they won't.
I think
But
you order your burger, you got.
I mean, unless you're like French kissing your boyfriend, girlfriend in the car while you're ordering.
I think you're safe.
I think you're safe. I think they don't know you're gay. Like unless you like go there and you say I'm gay. But like, why would you want to support a company that's against gays if you're gay anyway? So just make Chick-fil-A at home. It's great to do at home. I've done it. It's amazing. It's a good burger. It's a good burger. It's a good burger. It's not a burger. It's like a, yeah. No, we never had a real Chick-fil-A.
Why?
Because this is hyperly religious.
No, but let's try it.
Yeah, next time. Okay, next time let's do it. Real Chick-fil-A. I'll wear my nun outfit. It's gonna be great. Goldmaker89 says the size of the battery to drive a long-haul truck weighs more than 2 whole Cybertrucks. I know that's why it's a bit of an issue, and that's why we're talking EVs, but we're also talking just autonomous driving, meaning future technologies or technologies that are here now that would make it possible for these long-haul trucks to be self-driven. It's like to be autonomous. So they could still be diesel fueled, but that doesn't mean that would, so diesel or EV doesn't matter in that way. The truck driver would still lose their job if they became fully autonomous in that sense, more in that sense. So, well, what about, okay, so we talked about valet, we talked about valet. Somebody says valets are devils. What did they do to your car? So far, I had nothing bad happen to my car. Even in the Tesla Model X, there's a valet mode. So you can put like valet mode and put a PIN code in the car so that the valet cannot change all your settings or access all personal data that would be on your vehicle.
And what's your browser history?
Yeah, what's your browser history? It makes sense that your browser history would be kind of crazy, which leads us to definitely, but certainly, bus drivers. So anybody that would drive a vehicle like buses, could also be at risk of losing their jobs, because a bus driver has like, you know, they have a pre-mapped route in general. They need to be there on time, so it's highly organized, and then if we kind of automate out that logistically, of course, well, there's no need for a bus driver. Plus, some bus driver get like violently attacked, so that happens sometimes. So meaning, I mean, this could be cool, you know, just like
Bus driver downtown.
yeah. So you could be more safe. It could just be a bus that drives itself, and then maybe somebody could do security checks from time to time. Maybe before opening the door, I don't know. You need to like scan a card or something. It's definitely gonna change things. Walter Johnson says, I don't trust valets, they drive too fast. Well, they must like driving, or else they wouldn't be valets, right? I mean, yeah, exactly. But in the Tesla, you can also like put a maximum mile per hour, so you could put 20 so they can't go faster than that. I mean, you can do that. Bus drivers need to stay awake when they drive. That makes a lot of sense, right? You can't drive not awake. No. So there's like long haul bus drivers, of course, then there's community bus drivers. I mean, there's a whole bunch of different types of bus drivers. Some people do like New York, Toronto in a bus, and then other buses are just to go like to the next bus stop. But still, I mean, this is a thing. And then, well, let's move to another subject completely. If you're into auto insurance, well, if everything is automated and everybody is not driving, do we really need insurances? Like, or there's gonna be a lot less insurance claims, because it's been known and tested that full self-drive helps minimize accidents, or all of the technological inputs that we are putting into vehicles right now just make less accidents in general. And we're talking accidents car to car, car to people, car to pole, doesn't matter. All of these accidents or incidents are lessened.
All your years of experience doesn't matter.
The years of experience wouldn't matter anymore because you just activate FSD. So it doesn't matter who's behind the wheel anymore. So you're a new driver or you're an older driver or you're like a 35-year-old. It doesn't matter. There's no prime on your insurance or there's no lesser prime on your insurance. And then how can you steal these cars? Even these cars, these newer cars are really harder to steal. So usually you take an insurance for accidents, of course, for when it gets stolen.
Lose their job.
Oh, thieves are going to lose their job. This is good. Thieves are going to lose their job. You a thief, you're going to lose your job. This is gonna happen with all the like security features that are being added to vehicles, and even like being able to track your vehicle, know how fast it's driving, where it is. No. Only psychos will drive non-autonomous cars. That's what you believe? I mean, it makes sense that it would. How much more time would you have in your day if you were driven there, right? It's just, isn't it just so much better? It would be like public transport, but intimate, because you stay like with yourself. It's your own car or it's somebody else's car, but it's a very intimate experience. You don't need to be with all these other people, and you don't need to wait for that bus or that train to come in. You just go in the car, and then you can read, you can go do your grocery, and then go back home, and you have all this extra time on your hands to do something. I'm not saying everybody's gonna use it carefully, but I definitely would not mind having this extra time. That's why I'm looking for a PA. Oh, super easy. All right, what else do I have here? So I have, oh yeah, this is cool. Okay, car wash, people. I know, car wash. Well, okay, the thing is, if the car self-drives, maybe there's gonna be a car wash mode. You know, you just press it and then it really puts itself into neutral. It pulls in the mirrors and makes sure like all of the windows are closed. So why would you need a car wash attendee? You prompt your car and you tell it, go car wash. Go car wash. And then it goes there and it does everything on its own. It goes get clean on Sunday and it comes back clean. And you didn't even have to go there.
You just need special car wash place.
You just need like a special car wash place. So it talks like the car talks to the car wash, and then it goes in, it debits your credit card, just like the Tesla app debits your credit card every time you go charge. It's the same thing. I mean, everything is becoming autonomous. Then after that, if you want the cheerleaders because, you know, they're trying to raise money for university, that's a different thing. But if you're just wanting to wash your car because it's dirty on a Sunday,
There's going to be a robot.
Yeah, cheerleaders are going to be robots. Imagine that. Yeah.
Where?
Well, this is crazy. The car still has to input coins for cleaning. That's what I'm saying. You don't. Yeah. The car just like drives in and then it scans, like it talks, it does a handshake with the actual machine, like cleaning machine, just like the Tesla superchargers do with your car, and it debits your account. I mean, so again, we're talking fully autonomous vehicles that would be their own thing. Yes, they would have to be linked to a credit card, of course, and to a real person. I think we're not yet at the point where they were going to be owned by government or like private companies, maybe. But I would rather have my own Robotaxi type of thing, my own fully autonomous car, use it when I need it, and then just release it in the wild when I don't need it so that other people can use it, and maybe I can make money with that. I mean, that's kind of where I hope we're going with this, so that people who have the means to have a car can actually use it as a side hustle. And I think this would be like really, really cool.
Cinderella mode.
The what? Cinderella mode?
Bring back my daughter before midnight.
Oh, nice. Bring back my daughter before midnight.
No way without the daughter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I think that's a good idea. Elon, this is Cinderella mode. We need Cinderella mode. Before midnight, if you're not in the car, it's gonna go, like the car's gonna start screaming, it's gonna open, close the doors, it's gonna freak out. You need to be in the car by midnight. Yeah, and it takes you every 5 seconds. I mean, it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be awful, so Cinderella mode for your kids. All right, let's go to our poll. Do you feel your job is in danger? It's a poll we started before the podcast. So it seems like most of the people that are in are podcast while you wait. 80% says no. They don't feel that their job is maybe directly in danger, that it's going to be stolen by all of these autonomous cars, by electric vehicles, or anything related to that. 15% say yes. It's still a pretty good number, 15%, and 3% don't care. Yeah, because I put it there. I don't care. I don't care.
15
Yeah.
people think
It's still 15% is still a lot. It's still a lot for the days we live in.
for 1,000 work.
Yeah, well, for 1,000,
That's like
is yeah. So okay, let's just say for 100 people, that's 15 people that are gonna lose their job. It's a lot of people. It's a lot of people that might feel that. And if you feel it or you start feeling it, make sure that you actually come and leave a comment, because this podcast is available for you to watch and listen to whenever you want. Just click While You Wait, the podcast playlist that is available underneath the podcast label on our channel. Super easy. Now, I'm Piper. And well, that's enough for this podcast, but we will definitely see you in the next one. If you have ideas or you think that you can implement more crazy stories, it can be related to electric vehicles, but just related to the future as well, like technologies, or related to any type of vehicle in general, make sure that you drop in the comment as well so that we can make a podcast about it. So be here from Monday to Friday at 12 p.m. Vancouver time for more awesome electric vehicle entertainment. Oh yeah. And yeah, I think so the cars, yeah, Cinderella mode. This car says toddler mode. And then, I mean, that's maybe that's too much. I think that's too much. It's like nanny mode maybe. A nanny mode would be cool.